All right, so I know I haven't made any tutorials lately because I was working on some other stuff. One of the stuff that I was working on is the power boats that we're gonna have on Tebex soon. But in the process of doing that, I also recorded a time lapse of the process that I have to go through to create a boat, a vehicle for GTA 5. So this is about 4 hours and 14 minutes long, and I didn't feel like I'm gonna record this and post it on YouTube because no one is gonna be watching that. But as the video plays at higher speeds, I'm gonna be talking to you about some of the stuff that it's happening in Blender. Again, this is Blender with Solums. There is nothing special about it. Get the latest from as of today 4.1, and I do not know exactly which version of Solums this is, but just check the date when this video was published, and you may find out an older version of Solums if, well, you're gonna be in the future, right? So here we go. We're gonna be playing this at much higher speed, so this video doesn't go beyond, I don't know, 5 minutes while I talk to you about what's going on the screen. So basically, I'm working from a template. I got a one of the boats. I think it was the Jetmax that I modified. And right now, I'm cleaning up the template even further, so it make it easier for me to manipulate how the geometry looks in Blender, and allows me to have the lowest possible poly count, so it's easy for me to manipulate the geometry. So right now I'm working with the shell itself, what the player sees in the game. None of the nothing of you're gonna be seeing on the screen is gonna be collision related. All you're gonna be seeing is the shell of the vehicle. Uh, so I am preparing the template right now. I'm cleaning up. I'm reducing the poly count as much as I possibly can. Even so, you're gonna be seeing that the vehicle itself, just with the minimal shell, it's still gonna have about 23,000 triangles to start with. Towards the end of the video, I think it's gonna be a little close to 60,000 uh, because I'm gonna be um, subdividing the meshes that I need to do. So right now is the front piece, and the back piece in the lowest poly count as possible. But probably like you see on the right side down, it says subdivision, and the level viewport is 3. And what you see, the black lines in there is the low poly geometry, but when you subdivide it, it looks really smooth. This is not, so the moment you apply the subdivide, will all that geometry is going to show up as needs to be. But right now I'm modeling the low poly vehicle, so I get a look at what I want, how the vehicle needs to look, and keep an eye on the poly count, because you don't want to go over certain things. I've seen some horrible vehicles that are over a quarter million triangles, and people wonder why the game is lagging when there's multiple people using the same vehicle. You have to keep an eye on your triangles, on the poly count. So this is the front of the boat I'm working on right now, and creating the nose, creating uh, the bottom part that is supposed to cut the threads in the water and make it more stable. Well, that's the real life stuff. In game doesn't really matter. It just looks fancy. It looks nice. So why not create it? It's not all that expensive. So triangle wise, it's not that expensive. So why not? Uh, Most of you most likely won't understand what's going on in here. Uh, it's basically creating loop edges around the corners that I want to look sharp and decimating stuff that needs to look smooth. Right here I'm creating as you can see, there's bones, the armature of the vehicle, where the headlights gonna be. I have to create fake lights for the boats, because the moment the night time is on, the lights are gonna come on, and if you do not create lights or something that resemble a light, the light will turn on regardless, unless you remove the armature, you remove the bones, the lights will turn on. This is the kind of ribbed design that I like to. This is called organic modeling. Usually do not see any of this stuff in real life, because quite frankly it doesn't make much sense, because it needs to be aerodynamic, but it looks nice, so why not just add stuff to make it look interesting. Still fighting the lights a little bit, and right here I'm going to be adding details for the front of the boat. This is also going to be serving as a guide for the collisions, where the collision is going to be. Um, what you see, the big box is the one of the collisions that needs to be manipulated also in for for the boat to behave properly in game. Adding more details for the engine. Right back there, there's gonna be two pieces of geometry. That's gonna be the engine. The engine itself is just for the looks. It doesn't do anything. It just looks nice, which I'm gonna be adding later. And this is me fighting the subdivision that creates additional geometry that I don't need to be looking at, because it doesn't look continuous. It looks like the hull of the boat is broken. So I'm fighting the geometry in here to make it look continuous. So we're almost done on this part. It creates continuity with the proper cuts, with the proper vertices alignment. And right now I'm creating the engine bay, where the two engine are gonna be placed. Let's go a little faster. So we're almost halfway through the video. And right now we are about 44,000 triangles for the vehicle. So slowly adds up. 43,000. Creating a little bit of a cut for, let's say, water to flow properly from the back of the boat. Again, it's just for the design. Collision don't really care much. I think the front of the boat in collision, it's a lot more important than the back of it. Plus, the collisions are very basic, or very square. There is absolutely no details on the collision itself, so none of this matters much. Right now I'm creating what appears to be a little bit of a exhaust pipes or stabilizer, whatever you want to call them. doesn't really serve any purpose other than looking good. And creating the geometry for the rear wing for the spoiler. This was a little bit of a headache because initially I thought I knew exactly what I wanted, and then as I was creating stuff, I said I'm gonna deviate from the design that I wanted. I'm gonna be creating something else, and that never goes well because I had to redo the rear wing like 3 or 4 times before I was happy. You're not gonna be seeing all that because I paused the video. I knew I was recording. I paused the video. I did the changes that I want to do, and then I resumed the recording. So you're gonna be seeing the first iteration of what I was trying to do, and then you're gonna be seeing the last one. Uh, when I decided, yeah, this is what I want, I'll go with this. Um, so this is still the first one, the one that I never liked. And you can see me that scrapping it, like adjusting tiny bits here and there, try to look nice, and adding more details and removing details, making a different height, different inclination, different thickness, and yeah, I didn't like it. So um, again, this is not a mirrored piece of geometry. I'm editing every single piece of uh, every single part of it manually. It's not, I'm not mirroring left right to the right side or right side to the left side. So this is when I decided to pause the video and just fucking do it again, the whole wing, because it didn't look the way I wanted it. And yeah, the more I do it, the uglier it looks. So this is what the last iteration of what I was trying to do, and I decided this is it. I'm going with this. This is what's gonna look like, and this is exactly what's gonna be in game. Uh, play with this particular model in here. I'm pretty happy about how it ended. Um, the end result. Um, I wish there was a, I wish I had more detail on the back on the rear wing. So it appears that there is a more multiple balls like hardware where stuff gets attached to into stuff. So someone asked for some screenshots of the work that I've done. So I've done that for them. So you can see me pausing every now and then, even taking a piss or doing something else for a short minute. Adding more details to the wing, like little things in there to make it look aerodynamic. Then adding the supporting struts lateral, because if you go on one of those boats like 300 miles an hour, and those boats are capable of doing that, the lateral forces are quite significant. So I think it made sense for me to allow more triangles just to have it look like there is a some sort of lateral support for the rear wing. All in all, I think it looks nice, and I'm quite happy with what I've done. This is the part where I get an engine from the Marshall for the monster truck, and I place it inside the boat. The Not certain what was the name for the carburetor, the top part of the engine where the air intake, I think, uh, is. That does not open anymore. So although that works on the Marshall, it does not work on the boat, but still looks nice. The UVs were fighting me, and later on, I decided not to use the UV that's in the game, and I had to read the whole fucking thing. So you will see me scrapping it a few times, trying to fix the UVs right here, finding the image, and still not looking good enough. So As you can see, the moment I export, all that fucking thing is gone, so I had to do it again. And since I was fighting, I just decided to do my own thing. This is the first test with the high detail model. It's recorded at 1 frames per second, so that's why it looks the way it looks. But this is the first test with the scripts on, thanks to xhorn that wrote the code for me, well, for us. And I could fix the boat, I can change the colors and all that stuff. You will see the whole thing in the video working. So this is military green. First test is working, the engine doesn't show up, so I had to fix the UVs, which I did, and redo the whole damn thing. Finally worked. I had to reposition a little bit. This is getting frustrated because I have to undo some stuff, and looks like 256 undos is not enough for me. So I was checking if you actually have that enabled, because I cannot work with Blender gave me. So there's that. Right now I'm cutting the bottom of the whole of the geometry, because I do not need the whole thing. If I have to use the whole thing, that means the engine has to sit too high on the available space that I have on the back of the boat. So I had to cut the bottom of the whole thing to make it fit into the gap that I had available for the boat. Right here I'm pretty much uh, setting up what part of the boat is painted with the primary and what part of the boat is painted with the secondary color. So when you change color using the script, will automatically randomize the colors, and the area that you see highlighted, it will change depending on how the script does that. Right here I'm duplicating the geometry and creating the high and the low version of it. This is, I think this is, yep, this is the final test with the colors change and the high definition geometry, the high poly counts, and that's pretty much what it takes. Um, you can see where the colors are being changed and what it looks like. I decided for the windows to not be clear. I may change that later, because when it's like solid color, it looks a lot better than multiple colors. But I may change that later on down the road. I do not know exactly how it's gonna be, but so far I liked it the way it turned out without being like a rail window. I liked it the solid colors. Let's see how much do I have left in here. About 2 minutes. Next step that I haven't recorded is creating the collisions so it's playable in game. But this is kind of the final product, except for the collisions. This is exactly what it looks like in game. And this boat goes over 300 miles an hour. It will outrun every single vehicle in game, even the jets. Uh, but yeah, it's really fast and a lot of fun to race with other people. Thanks for watching.